Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a very good February. It's finally snowed on the mountain here. Let me find my chat window because I definitely want to say hello to everybody. Let's see, chat. I don't know where my chat window is. You guys go ahead and say hello while I find all of that. There we go. Good morning. There's a Linda and there's a Heather and a Kathy, Heidi, Penny. Oh, there's lots of Kathys. So, good morning, everybody. We're going to have a little visit with Maria Shell today. And I hope that you're having I just said a good February. We have had almost no snow since before Christmas, and the mountain has just had limited pockets of snow in the shadows or on the north faces of things. But really, the meadows have been bare bones. But yesterday, 16 or 17 inches of snow. So we got out and did the snow plow, and that's always a fun thing to do. It takes it's from my house to the gate of the main road. It's about 3 miles, so it's a lot of snow plowing and down elevation. So good morning. There's lots of you coming in. It's great to see all of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Um, I thought I would start before while people are coming in. I want to tell you a story. When I first started quilting, many of you will know this. Many of you may not know this, but I got an old Kenmore sewing machine from my granny, and it was due to the fact that she had remarried late in life. She was in her 80s, and so I got this old sewing machine, and when I decided to make a quilt, I got kind of hooked on quilting, and I was living in St. Louis at the time, and I was kind of squeezing two nickels together trying to make a dime. So I wasn't out buying fabric at all. I didn't even know quilt shops existed at first, but I had friends that started giving me their old shirts, or if they were, females gave me their dresses. I had all of these little bits of fabric. It wasn't a lot, but I remember taking my hall closet. It was a linen closet, and those are not very big. And it had like three or four little shelves for, towels or whatever. And I started cutting off the buttons and pockets and, cutting off the sleeves and turning the fabric into little piles of here's my little stack of red and blue and green and, striped fabric and black fabric and white fabric. And I had these little piles. Well, my mom ended up coming to visit, mom and dad both, and I was so excited about my quilting experience. I went over and I opened the door and I said, "Look at my fabric." And my mother's eyes got this big, and she literally looked at me and looked at the closet and she said, "Ricky, what in the world are you going to do with all that fabric?" Mind you, it was three little shelves, of fabric. And I have to believe that many of you have a little bit more than three small little shelves of fabric in your world. And you can tell me if that's true or not. But that was my experience. And now, of course, I've got a storage room that's full of fabric, and I've got my closet here in my studio that's full of fabric. And I still always wish it was better organized. I think we should have a discussion on organization of fabric because I try to organize it, but then it doesn't stay organized, or it's still confusing. Or do I put my novelty prints together, or should I put them in with the whatever color they're with? It can be a little bit confusing, but nonetheless, that's what is going to happen. So I'm going to play a video for you guys today. This is a visit that I had with Maria Shell. Maria is a delightful, wonderful quilter, an art quilter, contemporary quilter. She's very innovative in the way that she does what she does. And I just want to be able to share her with you today. So let me switch over to that, and I hope you'll enjoy this. It's not a very long interview, but she is wonderfully inspirational. So please do take a look at Maria Shell. Let me just get there. Hey, everybody, we're going to spend some time with Maria Shell. She's been on the Quilt Show 2 times, and we've got some fun things to talk about. Hello, Miss Maria. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ricky?
I'm fine. And you're up in cold, snowy Anchorage, Alaska today, right?
That's where I am in my messy, I shouldn't call it messy, my highly productive studio.
I don't think you can be productive and not have a little bit of mess. I'm looking around. I'm in my studio right now, and I'm not going to let anybody see what's over on that direction, right?
No, nothing over there. No
Well,
way.
the work on your wall is beautiful, very reminiscent of you. Is this a project that you've got going on right now?
Well, I've got a couple of quilts up there that let's see if I can move the right way. The one over there, that's a Nancy Crow workshop quilt that I've studied with Nancy off and on, but now that my kids are out of the house, I've committed to doing the classes in order, and that's an assignment. And then the other one, the one that you can kind of see over here, yep.
Yep.
It's kind of related to a workshop I teach called Riffing on Tradition, where we take a traditional quilt block and manipulate it. And one of the things that's super fun to do is to cut, if you've got a symmetrical block and you cut it horizontally and vertically and insert more information, which is what I've done there, right?
All right.
That's a, what is it, a shoe fly?
Shoe
And
fly,
then,
and yeah.
yep, and inserted that extra information. So,
I think that's great, and
yep, so that's what's going on the walls.
I really love that you said, we are a teacher. You teach a lot. You really are make an impact, but you also still appreciate being a student and learning, and I think that's important for people to hear.
It's really important. I think when I'm a student, I'm like, oh my goodness, like you feel that like I don't understand, I don't know what's going on, and so I can, it just keeps me empathetic and keeps me understanding that when you're a student you're learning. Yeah, so it's good.
Well, you've got some exciting things coming up. So let's talk first about your improv workshop. Tell us a little bit about that. What's happening there?
So a long time ago when I first started teaching, and this was in Valdez, Alaska, I had it in my mind that I would do some sort of game. I just thought it would be really fun if you had to roll the dice and spin the wheel. But I collected the things to do this. This was kind of back before there was random number generator on the computer. I was collecting little game stuff. But it never happened. And then fast forward to when I started teaching virtually during the pandemic, I I just kept coming back, and I have an assistant, and we were talking about it, and then we settled on Game of Improv, right? Like, so it's a play on Game of Thrones. Um
Okay.
and we really do, it's super fun. And I don't the craziest thing is the quilts are incredible. And the first thing that happens is your palette is based on your name. And I give every letter in the alphabet. M may be mustard yellow, or B is black, but it might be blueberry because I change it up each time.
Wow.
So you get a palette, and you've got to be strategic when you look at that palette because you have some wiggle room, but a lot of it's about thinking ahead. Then after you get your palette, we have several. You have teams. You pick a team name, and then I just do. It's kind of. I'm also back in the day, was a reality TV show junkie, and I loved Survivor and I loved Project Runway. So I incorporate things from that. Like, you say your team decides they want to do this, and I say, well, that's really nice, but you don't get to do it. Another team gets to do it. So we mix things
Oh,
up.
that's great. But it is a game.
And
How many days does it last? How many days is this game of improv?
if I'm teaching it virtually, it's either over a weekend, so it's a long, 2 long sessions, or I do it over a month. And if I'm doing it live, which I'm teaching live in Atlanta at the Southeast Fiber Arts Alliance, I'm teaching this workshop the weekend before QuiltCon, and that's a 3-day version.
That's
So
February 18,
we
19, and 20.
spin the wheel.
February 18, 19, and
Yes.
20th.
Yep.
So if
And
anybody is going to QuiltCon, or if they're at the Southwest Fiber Arts Alliance, they could still sign up for this.
yes, there's still spaces available, and it's so much fun. And like I said, the thing that beyond it being fun and freeing, um, you people just make these incredible quilts and they learn so much, and it's just a really, I love it. I love it's like a thrilling class to teach.
Well, I know, first of all, you are so energetic and your work is so fun. I know that this game of improv, it sounds like it's right down my alley, and I want to be able to do it sometime online. So I'm going to try to catch that with you. I think I would have a great time.
I think you would too, Ricky. Yeah,
All
you
right.
could be a team leader.
Well, speaking of QuiltCon and what's coming up very soon, you will be at QuiltCon, is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to be there as a participant. I'm looking
Sure.
forward to going to. My favorite thing is to get a lecture pass and go to as many lectures as possible and hang out on the show floor. I'm going to be doing a book signing with C&T for my old book, which is Improv Patchwork. So I'll be there on Thursday morning doing a book signing. And I'm going to be doing a gallery talk because I also have a solo exhibition at the Southeast Fiber Arts Alliance.
So talk to us about that exhibition. 20 years is that what a journey?
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because I have 4 quilts that are on the show at QuiltCon also, so that's
Wow.
pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And the so we were talking about this show, and I've sold quite a bit of work, which is nice. Anyway, we ended up like, what could I do for an exhibition that would be engaging, but also sort of a sampling, right? Because of what I have available for exhibition. So the exhibition starts with my very first quilt, and then there's a quilt representing every couple of years, and they're arranged in that order. So you can go around and you kind of see what I tried, and what worked and what didn't, and how I ended up where I am now. So I hope
Well,
people enjoy that perspective.
and there will be a lot of people heading off to QuiltCon, and this Southwest Fiber Arts Alliance is in Chamblee, Georgia. It's only like 20 minutes away, so they could add that into. I've got Cordelia visiting me now. They could add that into their itinerary for the week. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, for sure. And I am doing a gallery talk. So if they would like to hear me talk about the quilts, that's happening on Friday evening from 6 to 8.
Great. Well, Maria, I've got your episode numbers of the Quilt Show on the screen, so that if anybody wants to see your shows, go to thequiltshow.com and watch those, because you're certainly inspirational, and your website so people can find out more about you and learn more about you. And I appreciate you taking the time this morning to chat with us a little bit and get us caught up on what's going on in your world. And really looking forward to a continued another journey and 20 more years.
I know. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
So, you're wonderful. I love you dearly, and it's great to see you today. And thank you for spending some time with us.
Yeah, I hope you can dig out of that snow. So thank you very much, Ricky.
I will do. Thank you so much. Thank you. So there we have Maria Shell from Anchorage, Alaska. Wonderful, dynamic quilter and a great personality. If you've not met her or got to spend some time with her, please do try to make that one of your bucket list items, because she's delightful and entertaining and also really fun. I am truly going to try to do that game of improv with her. She mentioned that perhaps later in the year, and I'm going to be doing that. And one of the comments that came from one of you this morning was, I've taken that game of improv and it was fabulous and fantastic. So I'm taking that as an endorsement, stamp of approval from Rubber Hits the Road people that are out there participating with Maria. Any questions or anything that you'd like for me to respond to? I've been working on my one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish quilt. I'm not going to show you a picture of that, but I believe I'm going to kind of do a little teaser right here to say I want to show you a little bit about that process. It is an online class that I do have, and not yet. I mean, it's coming. I've had it in the past, but it's coming again. But I think that you'll find it a really unique experience to do something. We're not going to to do anything nearly this complicated, but I've had a lot of fun in the studio over the past 2 weeks. I started on Sunday 2 weeks ago, and if I finish it on Super Bowl Sunday or before, because I'm getting very close, I will have done the quilt top in 2 weeks. So I have had my I'm going to say nose to the grindstone, but I think it's my face to the needle or whatever. I've been really pushing to get this quilt done. That's great. So there's a lot of people that are commenting on Maria and how wonderful she is. They've taken classes from her, and that's really wonderful. I'm in her current game class, and it's great. Rose, thank you for sharing that piece of information with all of us. You guys, I'm going to say we've had a great visit this morning. It's been really fun to talk to Maria, and I hope that all of you are staying true to yourself, that you're pushing forward, that you're staying positive and upbeat. No matter what's going on, we can always find a way forward. We got 17 inches of snow yesterday, which was great, but it means that I can't get out till I plow, and of course, I plowed the 3 miles to the gate, so that was fun. Life is what it is. We take it one day at a time, and I will look forward to seeing all of you again really, really soon. Okay? You guys take care. Cheers.